Mac versus PC has been the argument for ever. And today, I do not address you guys, the guys who argue between Mac versus PC. Today, I address the consumer. The regular, everyday, online enough to check your email or whatever you may want to do consumer. Before I start this video, I just want to say that for 14 years now, probably more than that by now, I have used Windows computers only. I've never used a Mac computer until about 4 months ago. And 4 months ago, I bought a Mac just out of curiosity. Everyone says that Macs are a lot better, whereas Windows fans say no, they're no good. And I had a lot of friends that were Mac fans, so I was like, you know what, that influences me. I'm going to try it. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I do that a lot. I'll try it, and if it turns out great, then we'll go with it. It'll work out fine. But if it turns out really bad, you know, I've always got the chance to take that money and get a PC next time, you know. So I have made a top 5 list here as to why I like my Mac and why I choose it over Windows. Now keep in mind, 14 years of Windows here and I've switched to the Mac. I'm not paid to say this. I'm making nothing off of it, actually. I actually paid money to get the Mac. So, let's jump right in. The first thing, number one, everybody who hates Macs hates to hear this. But it just works. that's the quote that everybody hates. It's just easier to use. It may be a little bit challenging to learn at first because it's a completely different operating system. Nothing is going to be like Windows, and that's to be expected. It does everything you want it to do. I have not yet to date had to find a driver one for my computer. Plug it in USB, boom, it knows what you're talking about. It knows what you want to do with it. It works. We'll just go right on. I'm not going to cover that much. Number 2 is your less to no viruses. You know, when you get a Windows computer and you install whatever it is, I know my stepmom likes to do coupons.com where she prints out coupons, and I've heard so much about spyware coming from those things. And that's just one thing you don't have to worry about with the Mac. Yes, there is spyware out there, and yes, there are viruses out there. Unless you know where it's at, it's extremely hard to find. It's just not out there as much as it is with Windows. I could probably browse 10 websites and get a piece of spyware on Windows. I've had my Mac for over 4 months, and I've not got a virus. I've not got no spyware. I've not got anything. You save from having to buy these antivirus and all this bunch of bull that you really don't need. So that's number 2. Why do I like Macs over Windows? Let's go number 3. Quality. Your Apple Care. It's amazing. Apple Care. There's one thing that I do not like about them, and I'll point out some flaws. I mean, I'm not a fanboy. I'll point out some flaws. I noticed that whenever I call in for support, you're only allowed 90-day support. And after your 90 days, you either have to buy their 3-year extended warranty, or you just go in for in-store support. You don't get the phone support anymore. I currently do not have phone support, but I have in-store support. And I have plans on purchasing the 3-year extended warranty just for the purpose that if something was to go wrong with my iMac, they will fix it with no problem, no questions asked. Your Apple Care, Apple has a great history with Apple Care. You have a problem, you go online, tell them what's wrong, tell them what you need replaced, they'll ship you the products. You don't have to talk to some guy in India. If you talk to anyone, they're here in the United States. And most of the time, you don't even have to talk to anybody. You order your part. If you know how to swap it out, do it yourself. If you don't, take it to their local care facility, which they have a lot. They're not just Apple stores. They actually have care facilities here where I live. And they can fix it in a few hours. We have a place called Charlotte Street Computers here in Asheville. They are the main Apple repair center, and I love that. I could take my Mac up there anytime. I don't need the phone support because I've still got that 1-year warranty, regardless of what's wrong with it. You just can't get a Mac. This is number 4. You just can't get a Mac without getting iLife, and of course it's included, duh. But you can't have the want for a Mac without iLife. iLife, I'm making this video and iLife under HD. It may not be 720p, but it is HD. I don't quite pull 720. I think I pull 560, which is not. That's fine. This camera here does 720. We're gonna get the Sony Zaxty for the commercial, and that one does 1080. And iLife, or iMovie, of course, edits all of that. iPhoto is a great way to keep up with your photos. I can't go through all the features in 1 minute. It's crazy stuff that you can do with that. I've seen a lot of potential with iLife and iMovie. iPhoto and iMovie. Those were the 2 biggest things. Now, GarageBand, I was kind of unsure about. I thought I would try it. I still have not used GarageBand to this day. It's there, and I can use it if I want it, but I just don't see no use for it. I'm looking across the bottom. Just everything that you can do. People say, oh, well, you can't play games on Windows or on Macs. This was an added one. This one wasn't on my list. You can't play games on Macs. Well, actually, you can. I've got a game, Grand Theft Auto 4. I've got Sims 3. Those run better on my Mac than they did on my Windows computer in there. And it has a bigger graphics card than my Mac does. The Mac is just optimized. It knows how to do it and do it right the first time. The Mac, in my opinion, is just overall better. And then if you need Windows, you've got Boot Camp. I have Boot Camp set up, Windows XP Pro. I can go there anytime I need to. I've actually been on Windows XP Pro quite a bit. If you take where I've been in the past 4 days, I've been on XP Pro more than I have on OS X. But I'm doing it on my Mac. And I can still use everything seamlessly. The Mac allows you to go ahead and port the drivers over for Windows. You don't have to go looking for them. The Mac automatically puts them in for Windows to use. I have my eyesight, I have my surround sound, I have my monitor, I have my dual screen over here. Everything. Everything works seamless because Apple takes care of it. They take care of their customers. Some people say that you're paying more. This is also not on my list. You pay more for the Apple. Yeah, you pay more for the Apple stuff. You pay for the quality. You're paying for the name, you're paying for the logo, and you're paying for the quality. Yes, the name and the logo do make a big part in that, but you get quality. I spent $500 on my last notebook. Maybe it was $600, and it was an HP. And the last one, actually after that one that I got, it was a 17-inch. I unboxed it. I returned it after a few days. Terrible quality. I spent $900 on that one. It was an HP. Terrible. It would crash, which is actually number 5, crashes. Crashes on the Mac are very few to none. Yes, they do happen. It's going to happen. Nothing is flawless. But crashing happens a lot less on the Mac than when it does on Windows. Especially Windows Vista. And Windows 7 is just the clone of Windows Vista. They have not improved anything. Go back to Windows XP, rewrite it, or just improve it. Don't try what you're doing now. You're failing. That is my main reason why I switched off to Mac. I had Windows Vista for over a year. That was too much. It was just enough. I want an operating system that actually works and works right. So crashes, I'm just going to say crashes are far and few in between. Macs crash a lot less. I hate to cut you guys off here, but we are at our 10-minute mark, and I've got to go. So, that's my top 5. Well, I gave you like 7. That's my top 5 reasons why I chose Mac over PC. And I could go through a list of 100 or more, but I don't have the time. I simply don't have the time. If you guys have any questions about computers or Macs in general, or if you're looking to buy a computer and you're just not sure what you want, just hit me up. Personal message or whatever. See you guys later.